Hey everybody, welcome back for the little mini video. Today we're going to tackle the lower front fender trim strip. So let me show you that right now. So you can see I've already got the wheel removed from the car, and we're going to touch up a little surface rust on this piece here. But first, my trim piece and yours may come off and leave the rear clip intact behind it. This is actually held on by a plastic nut on the back side of this. And that is actually a bit of a challenge to get at because of the canister here, but a little careful manipulation and you can get in there and loosen that. So I'm going to do that right now and then get this cleaned up a bit and ready for some paint. And we'll also probably tackle the front edge of this. I know these are typically body color, but a lot of times I'll clean them up, and I do them with the same. I use this Pour 15 black. I may just come in on an edge here and clean that edge up and protect it with that stuff. And same with this. I'm going to coat both sides of this using this Pour 15 Rust paint. And it actually does a good job of sealing these. These are all nice and solid. It's just kind of some surface stuff. So it looks worse than it is. But I've done this on prior cars, and it definitely stops or severely slows down the process. So the key is to get it all cleaned up and go after that. So sorry for the little freak out. I had some weird insect land on me. But all is well, and we're going to continue here. So changing plans. This one's too tight. I can usually get a little needle nose behind here to get that nut started. This one is not budging, so I'm going to take this tank out, and it's a 13 down here and an 8 mil up there, at least on this car. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be able to get easy access to the back side of that. So a little change in plan. Taking those out did not actually help me. That's still very snug. So there's actually 2 Phillips screws on the bottom there, and I removed those, loosened up the rear, removed the front one. And you can actually just pry this out ever so slightly. Then you got plenty of room to get a 10 millimeter on that and just get it going. They're not on there crazy tight usually. So if you can get it started, you can get it off. And I'm just going to finish removing it now, and then we're going to look at the aftermarket trim piece versus the factory, and I'll show you there's quite a stark contrast in those, as there are with these door trims as well. So that went about as well as could be expected for a car of this age, and we completely broke it off. Yeah, someone had been in here before, and I discovered that instead of that being a 10 millimeter, it was a 9 3/16. I don't know. It was pretty messed up, so I couldn't get anything that would actually work on that, and I tried wiggling the front of the clip in order to loosen it up, because sometimes that'll work, and it did. I thought I had it going, but yeah, it's old and it's brittle. So these little plastic nuts are kind of fun to come by. I did actually get some from the dealer maybe a year or 2 ago, and was unpleasantly surprised by how expensive a plastic nut was. But it's nice in this particular location because it is eating moisture all the time, and if you try a conventional 10 mil on there with a plastic stud, well, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. But we'll see what we can do today. Hopefully I have another one of these in my stash. I will find out shortly. But I'm going to continue on and clean this up and break out the Pour 15. Okay, so I got lucky and I had a decent used one in my stash. But this is the aftermarket Latvian or whatever kind they are. But you can see how flimsy these are. They are basically just rubber with a little plastic frame. And the rear clip molded in. Here it's actually a separate one. And the front mounting area all set up to take the plastic stud right there. But you see this one is very firm and holds its shape, whereas this one is super cheap. So I think I'm going to go with the factory on this one. And I'm just in the process of degreasing and cleaning, and I'm about to break out the Pour 15, which I have over here. So we're going to use the cleaner degreaser first, followed by the Rust Preventative in gloss black. And because it's behind the trim, you won't notice it, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll check back in just a minute. Okay, so I like to tape these up, and I do this little slice here in the Rust Preventative, and got a nice kind of curve line to it. Obviously not factory correct, but if you drive them year round, I like being able to keep that protected. And now I'm just going to do a little sanding and wire brushing on this, and we're ready for paint. And I should note, I'm not spraying this on. This is going on with a brush, like a foam brush that I cut down, so it's going to be smooth. It's pretty thick paint, so you'll find that it actually covers pretty well. And then I might use a little squirt of, I've got some just Rust-Oleum black that I'm going to shoot in here on this back edge, just because I can't reach it otherwise. But then we'll be done and let it dry and ready to go back together. And with that, we have the project all done. New factory trim reinstalled, painted both sides behind there, and added bonus, cleaned the wheel up really well when we had it off. So hopefully that guides you through the process. The passenger side is actually easier because you don't have that canister to contend with. So that one you just take the liner off and you can get right at the nut very easily. So if yours are still in good shape, make sure you do the preventative maintenance on them and get some good coating to save them from the rust. Even if you only drive it in temperate weather, just with the age of these, it's a good kind of peace of mind thing. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.